It's your boy E,
It's your boy Cam.
and you're tuned into
Well Society.
Yo, this is episode 3 of Well Society. So last episode, we were talking about how to actually create wealth, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this episode, we're going to talk about how to do the work. So for the people who don't know us, my name is Eduardo.
My name is Cam.
And a little bit about me, I started playing baseball when I was young. I recently stopped playing baseball. I'm a coach now, and I'm a videographer and photographer. And yeah.
Right now, I'm currently an overnight lead, but one day, mark my words, I will escape this rat race.
So this episode, we're talking about how to do the work, right? So I'm going to tell you a little story about me, and then he's going to tell you a story about him. So I started playing baseball when I was 9, right? And I've been playing my whole life, pretty much until last year. I literally stopped playing. And throughout the final years of me playing baseball, I was like realizing it's like I fell in love with business. You know, I fell in love with listening to guys like Gary Vee or Grant Cardone, or I know he gets a lot of like bad
Garage
rep.
sales.
What?
Garage sales.
Yeah, I know he gets a lot of bad rep, Grant Cardone and all these people. But like, I fell in love with them. And I feel like they do good for themselves and they do good for humanity, and that's who I look up to and who I wanted to be, right? And with listening to them, not even just listening to them, just me reading books, I realized, wow, I have to do the self-improvement, the self-work, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And with doing that work comes a lot of like fighting with yourself, right? So when I was playing baseball, I was like, the last 2 years of me playing baseball, I was reading books. I was more interested in business than even baseball, right? I was looking into crypto, stocks, everything imaginable in business, whatever you think of, I was doing. And it's like I wanted to stop playing baseball because I didn't even like care about that anymore, because I feel like business was a new passion for me. And I started doing the work. I started reading about business, started doing all these things. I started trying to create my own companies, not companies, my own businesses. Sorry. I was trying to, let's say I was handing out, like, I remember at one point around my neighborhood, I was handing out like these big posters and putting them down in neighborhoods.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I'll pick up trash for free. And it was just starting my little business, right? And what else was it before that? Before that, I remember I was doing like, I don't know what it was. Oh, I remember I was going up to strangers' houses, and I was just knocking and then seeing if they were interested in me picking up their trash or whatever. So I was like little businesses like that. And well, after that didn't work, right? And I started doing, I can't really remember what I was doing, but I remember I failed like 3 times at businesses, right?
That's part of the process, though. You have to fail.
Yeah, you have to fail. And I wish I would have wrote it down, but I've started these other little businesses. I just can't remember for some reason. I guess because I gave up too soon. You know?
Mm-hmm.
But like, what I want to explain to you guys is like all that work that I did, it was necessary, and it was hard. It was really hard. And now that I know how to do the work, I can do it better for the businesses I do later on. So yeah, that's a quick story. And what about you?
Before I start off my story, I'm gonna give y'all a quick quote. Remember this: if you plan to fail, you can learn to succeed. So if you learn to do the work, knowing that there might not be the outcome that you want, you will succeed. And then my story stems all the way back from elementary.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's when my business, entrepreneurship, creative energy started. Like,
yeah, you tell me.
I remember, so I used to love art. I used to make origami things. Like, I would make origami shotguns, like origami, like anything dope. And I remember being in an elementary, and I started selling origami because I had to. My financial situation, like, I had to get creative.
Yeah.
And I eventually started selling it to everyone, and then I started teaching people how to make origami. And the best way to learn is to teach. but I had people working for me, making origami and selling in elementary, which is funny until I got caught and unfortunately it got shut down. But then it didn't stop there. We fast forward to middle school, and I remember my little cousins helping me go door to door selling candy, and I would go to the 99-cent store, give them the 99-cent store, and then flip it. And then in middle school, I did the same thing. I had people working for me, and that's the
go ahead.
creative energy that I like. Being an entrepreneur or like being in a tough situation, it forces you to think outside the box.
Yeah, that's facts. That's facts. Going back to your selling candy, I've listened to a lot of podcasts, and they all mention that they started off selling chips, candy.
Mm-hmm.
So all the entrepreneurs started off selling whatever they could in school. So it's cool how you're saying that, because it's like that's what everybody started off doing. But yeah, so like let's talk about like how did you do the work? Like how did you know that? How did you keep going? You know what I mean?
My mom and God. The reason I kept going is because my mom would always be like Cam, I can't get it for you right now. We're struggling.
Let's go on.
You know, and when she was like, we need more money, my mind did the work for me, and it forced me to get creative.
That's good. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well, for me, it was the same way. I think coming from an immigrant background, like I'm not an immigrant, but my one of my family members, my mom, she came to this country, and my dad, he was born in Brownsville, but he was raised in Mexico. So basically, it's like they were both like immigrants. You know what I mean? And coming from that background, like growing up, we didn't have a lot of money, right? And I was the same way. I was thinking about ways like how can I make money, right? But one thing that stopped me from thinking like that was playing baseball. So it kind of saved me from that type of pressure at a young age, which I don't think it's good or bad.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's normal. I think it's just like there. You know what I mean? Because I feel like if I would have gone through that pressure of, I needed money, I think I would have done some bad things. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think baseball helped me kind of.
I considered trapping once, but it just wasn't my style.
Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't like extremely poor, but it was situations like, I can't get you this, or like, like I don't have money. You know what I mean? I'm like, okay. Like, but I had baseball. Like, I would always, every tournament, like I would play tournaments every weekend, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I would always have baseball. I would always be distracted by baseball and the grind, you know? And that's what's kind of saved me from all that trouble. But I like how every entrepreneur, every business owner starts off by selling candy or chips or just being creative in general, you know?
And I want to talk about like, this is you need to enlighten the childhood spirit in you, because what started that business of mine was not necessarily because I wanted to make money.
Mm-hmm.
Or I mean, it was, but it was also like I loved art. I loved origami, and then I fell in love with selling in the process too.
Creative, yeah.
Yeah, so like find something you love, get really good at it, and then start teaching others, and that alone will bring money to you. That will bring wealth.
Yeah, that's facts. And also after high school or even my senior year, I was trying to do a website. And I was trying to do a blog and have be like an affiliate, and I was creating I was always doing some random stuff to try to get a quick buck or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. But I feel like that's a entrepreneurship mindset, to always like create or like do these different things, you know? And like you learn from all these failures. I learned from all these businesses that I wanted to start, and I failed at them. But I learned from them, you know what I mean? Like you can't chase a quick buck. You got to do the work, right? You got to do X amount of work and stay consistent.
So what does the work mean to you?
So work means, for me, it's like being consistent and doing it even though you don't want to do it. Like, you have to do it, bro. Like, just fucking do it.
Especially then. In my head, when I'm like, well, now, like, it took a long time to develop this.
Yeah.
But, like, now when I get that thought, where it's like, do I really want to go do legs today? Like, fuck, I really don't want to do it. I force myself to. I'm like, fuck, now I have to. Like, I wish that thought never came.
But that's me. I do CrossFit, right? And I'm just like, I don't want to get up in the morning. I'm just like, fuck. I'm just like, I wake up and I look up and oh my God. I don't want to do CrossFit. Because in CrossFit, they be killing you, bro. I'm telling you, they gave you a workout. They put it on the board. Do this. And it's like rounds. So it's like, He's just lifting heavy ass weight and reps and rounds and reps and rounds.
I
and
know this
sweating.
is like off topic, but like he had like 3 plates and like some more weight on
Oh, yeah,
there.
I be lifting some heavy ass.
I don't know the math, but like damn.
But like even working out, it helps you do the work for whatever you want to do later on. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like, how do I explain this?
When you make tough decisions and you make the right tough decisions subconsciously, like that keeps you going and it makes sense. So like if you made the decision, be like, I'm not gonna eat that cake, that's gonna resonate with you and that's gonna give you the power that you need to become successful. If you keep being like no and you don't give into your temptations and you do the work instead of choosing not to, like
yeah, you're right. Like if you do it, you just build like inner strength with yourself, right? If you honor your word, like we were talking about earlier, like if you honor your word, it just gives you like endless amounts of confidence. You're just like, oh yeah, I can do whatever I want. I can do this. You know what I mean? So
I know we didn't have this plan today, but we can talk briefly about how do you gain respect for yourself.
Yeah.
And I'd say honoring your word not only to other people, but honoring your word to yourself. Like if you say you're gonna do something, don't be like do it. Don't be like I'm gonna do it tomorrow, and then when you don't do it, that tears your confidence apart.
Yeah, that's facts. Yeah, if you say you're gonna do something, and man, I struggle with this a lot, especially in my relationship. Like I say I'm gonna do something, and I don't do it. It's like, damn. Like I know that I didn't do it, and so it kind of like.
And it kind of ruins relationships too. Like.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, that's a different topic, but honoring your word goes with it around everything.
Everything.
So it's not just starting a business or doing the. It's like everything.
That's how like it revolves around everything. That's how people build trust with you. That's how you keep going. And then another way to really keep going and how to do the work is having a purpose.
I was just about to say that. Bro, like you have to have a purpose when you're doing things like this. It's stuff like things like this. I mean, it's not common to make a business like and it be successful. It's not common, right? And the only way I feel like these people do it is because they honor their word, they have purpose, and they have incredible amounts of work ethic. You know what I mean?
And how to find your purpose is a topic for a whole nother discussion.
You gotta ask yourself what it is and figure it out. You know
figure it out, and that alone is
a process too.
The first half of the battle is finding what you really want to do, find where you're going, and that takes work.
Yeah, it takes basically it takes a lot of work, and if you're not being consistent and you're not doing the work and you're just leaving it off to the side, procrastinating, damn, I guess I feel bad for you.
He pointed this out in one of the other podcasts. I'm not sure exactly which one, but he was like, stop waiting. What are you waiting for? Don't wait for the circumstances to be right. They're never going to be right.
Yeah.
You're never going to be ready. Just throw yourself into it and
see what happens.
Be consistent.
Yeah.
To me, work is showing up knowing that there's possibly could be no benefit or no result. Yeah. That's what work is.
Yeah. You like it might not happen, it might not work out, but you fucking did the work, and you're proud of yourself for at least trying. And it goes back to sports. Like I don't regret quitting because I did the work and I tried really hard, and I made a decision, right? And I chose this instead of that, and I'm proud of the decision. I'm not mad.
Best way to live with no regrets is you have like whenever you make a decision to do something, do it all. Don't put half foot in and half foot out, because whenever you quit that, you never know if you gave it your fullest or not, and that can be a regret. So give everything your fullest. Try hard at everything.
How does that quote go? What's worse, the pain of regret or the pain of? How does it go? Do you remember?
No,
it's all over Instagram. It's like, damn, I forgot the quote. It was basically kind of saying like, would you rather have the pain of regret or the pain of doing the work? You know what I mean? I'd rather have the pain of doing the work, because I'll be proud and confident of myself that I'm doing it. But if I don't do the work and then I regret later on the line that I didn't do the work, that pain stays forever. That's just going to stay with you till you die.
You can't go back and do that again.
Yeah, and you can't go back. Now that I look back on baseball and how hard I tried, I'm proud that I tried that hard. And I'm like, I really did that. Like, I tried that hard. Imagine what I can do if I try this hard in this subject and this hard in that, whatever I do. I'm going to be a beast. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So it's like, I'm not even I'm just so happy that I did the work that I did, and it didn't work out. Oh well, it's like a business. It just doesn't. It didn't work out.
It taught you fundamental work.
Yeah,
Like
it
how
did.
to keep going.
It definitely
And
did.
just like with wealth and suffering and pain,
Yeah,
your life is tough.
yeah,
You're always gonna have to work. You're always gonna have to go through pain.
yeah,
Choose which pain you want.
yeah.
Choose which struggle you want. Choose the work.
And it's also temporary. It's not gonna be forever.
Are you?
Right?
Do you wanna work at McDonald's or wherever you are? Do you want to work there, or do you want to work at something that's gonna fulfill your life?
Yeah. No. You got a point. Like, choose to work, right? Always choose to work. And there's good and bad work. There is such thing as good and bad work.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd rather you just do the work and rather than not like
Doing
action
anything at
instead
all.
of doing nothing at all. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, I want to talk a little bit about like, let's say you're an outgoing person and you love partying and doing these things, right? Like talking to people, hanging out. There's a time and place for everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't have an obsession to succeed, I mean, if you don't have that drive, it's like you rather just party and keep talking to people who don't give you anything. You rather just party every weekend instead of work. Is that really what you want? Because at the end of the day, like, if you're not obsessed, you're not gonna see any progress. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's like for me personally, I'm sure this is the same way for you, but for me, when I go to a party or whatever I go to, I'm just like, okay, when am I gonna get back to work? You know what I mean?
And like,
Yeah, it's fun for like maybe like the first 2 minutes, and then I'm just
the
like,
social battery dies out quick.
Yeah.
It's like
yeah,
partying is you're supposed to be in the moment, and it's extremely difficult for me to be in the moment of party
yeah,
when I know it's at stake and I know the work that I need to get done. I'm not ever at the party. I'm always in my head. What am I gonna do next to give me a step forward? And I know it's.
I don't know if it's good or bad. I think it's both. I think
both.
I think you know how it's like blue or red. I think it's purple because it's like it could be bad if it's like family and you're trying to connect with family and it's a party, right? And you're not giving them your full attention. That could be bad. But what I'm talking about is like literally a party. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like a party that it's just you're just having fun. It's like does this really matter?
Exactly.
Or does the work that I'm leaving behind matter more? And the work always matters more.
And
right?
and it's like it's hard for me to be present in the moment knowing that I'm wasting time.
Yeah,
And
that's true.
I know for a fact that how I spend my time now will dictate tomorrow or the next days.
Yeah,
Meaning that
facts.
money is not as valuable as time is, because time runs out. Money is abundant.
Yeah,
Money
facts.
will always, and money is made up.
Yeah,
That's
like today, like I made a deal with my sister. I was like, because I hate washing clothes and stuff. I was like, I'll take you to the gym 4 times out of the week if you wash my clothes right now,
because it saves you time.
and because it saves me time, right? And I did the calculations in my head. Would I rather put the clothes in the dryer, or put the clothes in the washing machine, dry it up, take it to my room, fold it up, and put it wherever it needs to go? Or would I rather take my sister to the gym to get swole?
To the place that you're already going.
Yeah, and the gym's only like 5 minutes from my house.
Exactly.
It's the Elliott Fitness right by Langham Creek. You know what I mean? I'd rather do that. And honestly, it's actually better that I'm doing that for me in my head. So I chose to do that and save time. Right? So
And,
yeah, the little things like that. Yeah.
And like I don't know if I spoke about this on the podcast already, but like I spent $600 on books, and each book that I read
That's crazy.
is bringing me closer to knowing the bigger picture. And it's
Got a point though.
and every time like the reading it and writing after, like it connects in my head, and like it's making me make the right decisions, and it's leading my path towards a successful path.
Definitely.
So,
Yeah.
and that's because I'm spending the time correctly and not partying. And I'm not saying partying is bad, because you
No, we all have to do some type of
socializing is
fun and socialize. Like we all have to. There's no debate. It's just you have to find the right time and place for
the right
it, right?
balance.
And yeah, a balance. You can't just party every weekend. So honestly, a part of the work is trying to save as much time as possible as well
For that work.
for that work. So if you have work and you know it's going to take you this time. Try to bring it down. Try to bring that workload down. Or like I do, I just make my sisters do things. You know what? Always try to find ways where you could minimize not the work, but the time that it takes to do the work.
I think what he's trying to say is,
see what I mean?
Is
time management, bro.
Time management, but eliminating distractions.
Yeah.
That's the biggest part of getting the work done, because if I study all day, but I'm distracted, I can learn more and do much more in 3 hours of undistracted time.
Oh, of course. Than doing it the whole day distracted.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so that about wraps it up, but we want to give a quick summary about what we just talked about. So to do the work, there's 4 things you got to do, right? You got to have a good work ethic, right? You have to have purpose, right?
Purpose.
Third one, I would say honor your word is more important than time.
Is valuable. Honor your word might be like
what the most important, right?
most important.
So, and then time. So time is the last one, right? So in that order, I would say, not in that order.
Not even in that order.
But just make sure you have those things in order to do any type of work that you want to do.
Try your best to build those skills and take your time with those skills. Don't let your time manage you. Manage your time.
Yeah. Oh, like I said earlier, if you manage your time, you manage your money. If you master your time, you master your money, right? Mm-hmm. So, yeah. And to end the episode, we always like talking about books because we read a lot of books, and ego is the enemy is one of them. And this book basically talks about not having an ego, controlling your ego, and eliminating it, like for good, right? Because ego gets in the way of us doing the work because we think we're too good to do the work. And
briefly defining ego, an example would be like, all right, I was so good at doing this in the past, so now I don't have to do the work now.
Yeah, and exactly.
To be blunt, it's not about your past successes. It's about what you do today and how you can be better for tomorrow.
Yeah. Don't stop being stuck in the past, right? So yeah, this is it. 4th episode might be in 2 weeks, right? Not this week, next week, but the week after that. And yeah, this is about it. Peace.